Hi everyone, I made a crispy sesame tofu the other day and I wanted to share how I did it. It's basically very similar to my sesame chicken recipe, but obviously using tofu instead of chicken. So if you like tofu, please keep watching and see how I did it and let me know what you think. So I'm starting off with tofu. So I'm using tofu from the Tofu company. This is smoked tofu. I think it tastes a bit nicer than ordinary tofu. It's got like a nicer flavor. So I would definitely recommend trying it out if you get the opportunity. And I'm just taking it out of the sort of plastic compartment that it comes in. And what I like to do is just dry it off with some tissue. So this tofu does not need to be pressed, which I think is really good because I don't really have time to be pressing it overnight or for hours at a time. So yeah, I just literally dry it off with some kitchen roll and then I break it up into pieces just using my hands. I don't use a knife or anything like that. I'm just breaking it up into bite-sized chunks using my hands. So once that's broken up, I go ahead and transfer it into a bowl because I'm basically going to mix it with some cornstarch and some seasonings so that when we fry it up, it's going to be nice and crispy. So as I said, I'm just adding in some corn flour. I will put the exact measurements down below, but I basically eye things every time, guys. So yeah, I'm just chucking in some corn flour and then I'm also putting in some garlic salt and some smoked paprika. So I mainly use the paprika for the colouring, not really for the flavour. So I'm just mixing that in, making sure that all crevices of the tofu are covered in the cornstarch so that they can get nice and crispy. Once that's done, I'm just going ahead and wiping down my surface, and then I put just a little bit of oil in the pan. I'm not deep frying it, I'm basically kind of shallow frying it, if that makes sense. So I tested with a little bit of the flour just to make sure the pan was hot enough, and then I'm just going to fry them up in 2 batches. You basically don't want to overcrowd the pan like with anything because then it's not going to get nice and crispy. So I did it in 2 batches, basically a couple of minutes on each side until it's nice and brown. You can check to see whether it's brown enough, put it back if it isn't, and yeah, basically just move it around until all corners of the tofu are nice and brown. Once you've finished frying off the first batch, you're going to go ahead and move that onto a plate. And as you can see, I'm just trying some of the tofu and I think it looks quite chicken-like. Like it looks a bit like popcorn chicken to me, and I thought it tasted really nice. Like it had a really good crunch to it, and I literally had so many pieces at this stage because it tasted so good. So yeah, I'm just finishing up the second batch, taking that out of the pan. And then once that was done, I went ahead and started making the sauce. So I'm going in with some soy sauce first of all. So as you can see, I'm just using 2 heaped tablespoons of soy sauce, regular soy sauce. And then I'm also going in with some rice wine vinegar. As you can see, I'm nearly run out, but I have just enough. I'm using 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. And then I'm also going in with honey. I'm also running out of honey. Looks like I need to head to the supermarket, but you're basically going to want to use 2 tablespoons of honey as well. Literally squeezing with all my might to get some of this honey out. And then I'm also going to go in with some tomato ketchup. So again, we're just going to do 2 heaped tablespoons of ketchup. And then last but not least, I would say a splash of water. So I would say this was probably about 4 tablespoons of water. You just mix it in just to make sure that the sauce is the right consistency. So just mix that in thoroughly. Don't worry if it seems like it's not completely smooth. Once you put it in a hot pan and it starts bubbling together, everything will melt and it will be nice and smooth. So once that's done, I like to get my pan nice and hot, and as you can see, I'm still eating the tofu because I honestly really like this tofu, and I'm gonna buy it a lot more because it tastes great. But yeah, once the pan is nice and hot, I'm gonna dunk in the sauce. The pan doesn't need to be too hot. I would say probably about a medium heat, and get that nice and bubbling. So you're just gonna let it simmer for a couple of minutes, let all of the different ingredients mingle and meld together. And at this stage, you're going to want to make a cornstarch slurry. So I just used a teaspoon of cornstarch, and then I added probably about 3 tablespoons of water, and I'm mixing it together. And you're just going to want to add this into your sauce. So as you can see, I kind of just went and added it all in, but I would say add it in gradually because you don't want to end up with your sauce being too thick. So make sure you add the cornstarch slurry in gradually, and then mix it into your sauce until you get the required thickness. So you basically want it thick, but not too thick, if that makes any sense. You want it just to be just the right consistency to coat all of the tofu. And then at this stage, I went ahead and dunked in all of my tofu. I think I probably had slightly too much sauce. Like I would say maybe 2/3 of the sauce that I made would probably be fine. But yeah, I would definitely recommend that if you give this recipe a go. And then I'm just going to top with some chili flakes because I like it spicy. You know, I add chili flakes to everything basically. Then I'm also going in with some toasted sesame seeds. Just sprinkling that all over the tofu. And then last but not least, I'm going to add some spring onions. Just to make it look nice, basically. And then you're basically done, guys. It is so quick. Literally, the most time-intensive thing is frying the tofu, but even that doesn't take too long. The sauce probably takes about 5 minutes. So I would say this is definitely something that you can do within 45 minutes, if that, and it's a quick and easy meal. So I'm just serving it up on a plate, and then I'm going to give it a try and let you guys know what I think. Just adding some more chili flakes because I like it spicy. And that's it. Sesame tofu. Hi guys, so I've really tried it. I am really happy with how it turned out. Like, it's so crispy and I really like the texture. Like, if I bite into it, you'll see it kind of has that chicken-like feel to it. And obviously I really like the sauce because I used this sauce in my previous video. It's really good. For a meat substitute, I would definitely try this out. It's so good. I'm shocked at how good it is. There you have it, guys. Not chicken, not sesame chicken. Tofu, sesame tofu. I think that's what I call the video, but yeah. I'm really impressed. This is the brand that I used. It's called the Tofu Company, and it's smoked tofu particularly because I think that did really give it another sort of dimension to the flavour. So good.